Hello everyone and welcome back to the part 3 of our tutorial series where I'm explaining how you can do the fine tuning of a large language model. In the previous two parts, I have just covered the functional aspect and the technical terminology which is required to be known for the person who wants to do the fine tuning. In this video, we are going to actually set up the Hugging Face account and we are going to set up our Google Colab. So why did I choose Hugging Face? So let me just quickly show you why did I choose Hugging Face. This is a platform which actually gives you the access to the models which are publicly available. Just see the numbers of models which are available through the Hugging Face, which are open to, which are free to use, and you don't have to pay anything and you can just take any models. Similarly, we have a data set. So we can see we have more than 4 lakhs and 7,515 data sets. It means we have a plethora of a data set which we can use. All you need, what kind of task and the use case you have for which you want to fine tune your models. And then in models, we have a lot of category which you can see multi-model, right? We have audio text to text, image text to text, visual questioning answer. So we have a lot of computer vision, natural language processing, audio. So we have hundreds of or thousands of models in a different category, right? So this number speaks to itself, right? Similarly, we have a spaces where the community is building a very intelligent and powerful applications which you can see and which you can utilize and get the sense like what all applications are being built, the community which we have in a Hugging Face. So this Hugging Face is really very important. If you are entering into the AI world, then I would highly recommend you to just start familiarizing yourself with the Hugging Face because this is really going to help you a lot. So you can sign up with your Google Gmail account, or you can just sign up as you just sign up for any other platform, right? So once you sign up, you will be having this profile. So you can click on this. And once you click on this, then you can find, I have to log in because I logged out. Okay, so I'm going to just log in. Once you log in, then you can just go here. You can just click on this. You can just select your profile as well. From here also you can go, or you can directly just go to the access tokens. Once you have access token, you can just create this token. Why do you need this token? Because this token is actually going token. And I'm just gonna give a right access to them for now. And I'm going to copy this, and I'm not worried about, because this token I'm going to delete once this video is published. When this video will be published on YouTube, this token will be deleted, right? So now we have that token. Why do we need this token? Because we have to set up a Google Colab to interact with the Hugging Face, right? So what else we need? We just need to search for Google Colab. So if you have, maybe I just icon. So if you just go to the Google Colab and if you have a Gmail account, this is what you're going to get. So I'm just going to click on a new one. So Google Colab is nothing but just a notebook which is hosted on internet, right, over the network, right? So it's just a Python running environment. So you don't have to worry about setting up your Python. It is already available for you, right? So now I'm just going to say fine tuning underscore set. Right? So what you need, so just to run any Python program, right? All you need is the libraries, right? But since we are going to use the Hugging Face to just get the data or the model, so first we have to, get connected to the Hugging Face. How can I do that? And for that, this is the Hugging Face library, which is Hugging Face Hub. So what we have to do now, we have to come here, and just to install we have to use exclamatory, and then we can just copy paste this, and then we can just run. Just to run, you can click on this symbol, or you can use the control enter as well. It is going to take a little bit of time. That's one thing, and another thing which you have to do when we are going to actually do the training, at that point of time, we have to just change the runtime as well. So we're gonna do that, but let's first, try to just set up, the Hugging Face connectivity. Once this is done, you can add another cell, and from Hugging Face you can include notebook login. Okay, and then you can just like it. And once you run this, you have to give the same token which you get from the Hugging Face. Invalid user token. So we can just quickly come here and we can just create the new one. You can see paste, right, token, copy this, here, execute this one more time. Okay, so now the connectivity is there. So that is how you can just get connected to the Hugging Face through the Google Colab. The next thing which you have to do, we know that fine-tuning a large language model, you need a GPUs, right? And that is where Google Colab is a really powerful tool. And that's the reason, that's one of the biggest reason I choose this Google Colab to just explain this fine-tuning part. So here, if you just come here in a runtime, you can change a runtime type. And here you can see CPU, T4, GPU, 800. So this is not available for us, but we can just click on. So now we had just click on T4 GPU, and then we can just, now if we want to check whether this is available to us or not, what we can do, we can simply come here and I have a code which I can check. Okay. Plus, okay. So I have to import this from here. Okay, and then I can run this piece of code. Just what it does, it is just checking whether the CUDA is available or not. If that is available, then it means that, now this notebook is actually utilizing that T4 GPU, which Google Colab is providing to us, right? So now we have a connectivity to the Hugging Face, and we have already enabled the GPU as well in a Google Colab, and these are the two things which we have to do right now. The next thing which we have to do is we have to just select the model, like which model we are going to utilize, right? So what I'm going to do, we can just come back here. Okay, and we can just go to the models, and I'm just going to use the tiny Llama, this one. Right? Why I choose this? Because this is a very lightweight one, and this is having a 1 billion parameter, which easily we can quickly just fine tune that. You can choose any of the model which you want, right? And that is the one of the main tasks which you are always going to have. What kind of use case you have? Based on that, you have to decide which model to be used, because the intention of this tutorial series is to just give you the sense how you can fine tune that rather than telling you how you can choose the model. But that is again, you have to understand, depending upon your task, you have to decide which model excel in that particular area in which your use case belongs to, right? And then you can decide model. Once you have a model, then you can decide the which data set you need to use for that, right? And again, it depends upon what kind of task and the use case you have. Right? So the model which we are going to use that I have already so let's come back. Okay, so this is the name of the model. So let's come back here and we can add a text. You can simply say, okay, the name. You can say this is the model name which we're going to use, right? Okay, so what's the next thing we need? We need our data set, right? So what data set we gonna use? Let's find code. Okay, so there are. Okay, so I'm going to use a very simple one, which is having English codes. So what you get here is you can just understand the detail of this data set, what kind of data set it is. So English code is a data set for of all the codes retrieved from the Goodreads codes. You can just understand what is that. right? And since I just need to fine tune my large language model with this data set, so whenever I am going to ask the question, then I will be getting the codes which are actually here in this particular data set. So what does it mean? It means that whatever the general knowledge on which the large language model is trained on, but once we have a fine tuning done, then based on what specialized data on which we have trained the model, we are going to get the response based on this specialized knowledge, right? So if you just want to see, this is how the JSON format looks like. We have author, code, and tags, right? So you can just see this and you can come here in a data studio as well. So that's the reason I'm saying Hugging Face is really very important for you to understand. So you can just see the data structure. We have a code, we have author, and we have tags as well, right? So we choose like, okay, which database we're gonna use, and we now know which data set we are actually going to use. So I'm gonna say the data set which we have decided to use is this one. Okay, so now we have chosen which model we need, which data set we need. Now, the next thing is what we need, what I wanted to cover here is the libraries which we are going to use. So what all libraries we are actually going to use, right? So the libraries which we are going to use, let me just quickly open one of the Google Colab, which I have been using a lot. Okay, and there I have just captured all those library, and I have covered that library in my PPT as well. So if you remember, right, this is just a very first step where we say that, okay, first you have to define your task, right? That your task could be test classification, name entity recognition, question answering machines, test summarization, and text generation. So depending upon your task, you have to choose which model to be picked up, and then you can just go to the Hugging Face. You can read through the model description and understand which model is actually compatible with your task, what kind of model size and the efficiency that the model is offering to, and based on that you can decide. Similarly, you can just check for the community feedback and the license as well. And this community feedback, when it says the community feedback, what does it mean? It means that whenever you pick any model, you can just see detail, like, I mean, how many downloads we have for this one, right? Similarly, you can just click on any of the model and you can see, right, how many downloads. And these download actually depicts that, okay, this is actually being used by the large audience or the large members from our community or not, right? So you have to spend a little bit of time to figure it out, which model to be used depending upon what use cases. And this download is actually really very good to understand, how many people are actually using that. You can read through the description, you can just go to the community as well, and you can just try to see all those conversations which is happening here, right? So once you decide, okay, which pre-trained model you want to use for your task, the next thing is you have to decide that data set. So again, data set, you can just go to the Hugging Face. You can just try to see what kind of data is being captured in those data sets. We have thousands of data sets through which you can just understand, and you can pick that just to do the POC, right? And once you are done with that, then you can, just run these 2 lines of code, and through which you will be able to download the data. Again, now once you have this model and data set, then all you need is you need to just fine tune the model. And this is the process we have already talked about. We have to tokenize the data set, prepare for training, defining a training argument, initialize trainer, evaluate the model. So that is just a kind of a summary, right? Additional tips, we can just cover all these things, but these are the important libraries which we will be needing. So we will be needing these 7 libraries, right? So what we can do, we can just, as I mentioned, if you want to install any library, right, you have to use exclamation pip install, and then you can just start typing all these library, PEFT, TRL, transformers, right, and then you have accelerator. Okay, and what else? Dataset, TRL, tokenizer. So wait, let's bytes, right? Bits and bytes, PEFT, transformer, datasets, and URL tokenizer. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we should be good. Sets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tokens. You can just enter this. It is going to take a little bit of time. So I think we are done from the setup perspective. So our Hugging Face account is set up. Our Google Colab can interact with the Hugging Face, and we have installed, we have set up, the runtime environment as well to utilize the GPUs. We decided which model we are going to use and which data set we are going to use. So now the next thing is what we're going to do is we are going to just download the data set, and then we are going to format that depending upon this model, because every model has a specific structure in which we have to convert our data set so that the tokenizer can convert that data into the numeric representation, which our trainer can understand and our model can also get trained over it. And that is something which we're going to understand in the next part. So that's it from my side for this video. If you have any feedback or suggestion, please feel free to put that into the comment section. And if you really like this video, give a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed for my channel, please subscribe for my channel as well. And as always, thanks for watching this. Stay healthy and keep learning new things.